Hello everyone, welcome to Click2Cloud. My name is Kapil and in this video we will talk about OpenShift Explorer and its features. OpenShift Explorer enhances your capabilities to work on OpenShift Cloud. It executes several core functions which facilitates you to easily manage and control your applications on OpenShift. So let's talk about its features now. These are the main features of OpenShift Explorer listed on the screen. So let's now get a quick overview on each of these. Launching OpenShift Explorer. So let's see how to launch OpenShift Explorer from Visual Studio. So I am on my Visual Studio IDE. To launch OpenShift Explorer, click on Click2Cloud menu and select OpenShift Explorer. Also you can use the shortcut keys, that is Ctrl plus R and E. Once you select, it will launch the OpenShift Explorer tool window. From here you can find the previous connections or you can create a new connections of your OpenShift server. Here you need to provide your server URL and the username password. Click on Save Password to remember your password for next time and click Finish. Once you connected with OpenShift server, you can see your connections here. Under these connections, the OpenShift resources are organized in a folder structure. If you wish to create a new application or project, you can directly create it from here. Right click on the connections and you can select the new applications or project like we have seen in our earlier videos. Now let's see its features. Start build. So this is one of the features of OpenShift Explorer where you can directly start a build of your applications. So let's assume we have application running on OpenShift Cloud and we have made some changes in our GitHub repositories. Now we need to deploy that changes in our OpenShift applications. So for that we need to start the another build. So to start the builds, expand the connections, select the project, and we can see the single build is running here. So select build config and right click on your build config and select start build. And we can see the another build is started running. Once the build is complete, we can see the changes is successfully deployed to application. We can see the second build is successfully completed, and also we can see the build logs from here. Now let's check the pod status, and also we can see my application is using the second build. Now let's check the changes directly to the web browser, and here I can see my changes has successfully deployed to my application. Now let's see how automatically we can deploy the changes to our application. Retry webhook URL. For automatic build deployment, we need to configure Webhook URL to your source code repository. To get the Webhook URL, expand your connections, select your project, expand build config, and right click on your build configs, and you can see show Webhook options here. You will get the Webhook URL here. Copy this URL and configure it to your source code repository to automatically trigger your build. So I already configured my Webhook URL to my GitHub repository. Here we can see. Now let's make some changes in our source code and see how it works. So this is my source code. I'm going to modify the text to hello world webhook trigger. Now save your changes and commit to your GitHub repository. Commit and push. Yeah. So the changes is pushed to my GitHub repository. Now let's check the build. And here we can see the third build is completed. Also we can check the pods. The pod is running on a third build. Now let's check the application. Show in a web browser. And here we can see my changes is reflected to my application. So whenever we made some changes in our applications, the webhook automatically trigger it to your build. Now let's see the pod and the build logs from OpenShift Explorer. View pod and build logs. So logging is very important from developer perspective to diagnose and troubleshoot problems in running an application. To view logs, expand the connections, select your project and expand the pod. Right click on your pod and select pod logs. And here we can see the pod logs of your running container. Now let's check the build logs. Select your build, right click and select build logs. And here we can see the build logs which is successfully pushed. Open terminal. Using OpenShift Explorer, we can also connect to a terminal running our application. To open terminal, expand your connection, select your project, expand pods, right click on your pod and select open terminal. This will launch terminal where you can run and execute Linux command in container. So we can see the source code and the default ASPX page running under the container. Now let's see the scaling pods. Scaling pod. The pod scaling guides OpenShift how it should scale the replicas of pods up or down. To scale the pod of any applications manually, launch OpenShift Explorer, select the connection, select your project, and we can see there's a one pod running. Expand replication controller, select replication controller, and right click and select scale up or down. From here, we can increment or decrement the pod numbers. So let's increase this by 2 and click on scale pods. Based on instance number provided, it will spin up the pods. And here we can see the pod has scaled successfully by 2. So let's refresh. And here we can see there are 2 pods are running now. Now let's see the another feature, port forwarding. So using OpenShift Explorer, you can also forward the remote container port to your localhost machine. To start port forwarding, select your connection, select your project, expand the pod, and right click on your running container and select port forwarding. Here you can see the default remote port and the local port, and you can also get the random local ports by clicking here, and we can see the forwarding port will be 34759. Click on start to start port forwarding and click OK. Here we can see the logs that the port forwarding has started. Now let's see how it works. This is my MongoDB client which I will use to connect to my MongoDB database using the localhost port. Click on connect. I'm updating my port. So my localhost port will be the 34759 with the username password, and click on save and connect. And we can see the port forwarding is working on my localhost. To stop port forwarding, again go to the connections and stop the port forwarding from here and click OK. Now let's see the another feature, edit resources JSON. In OpenShift Explorer, we have integrated the JSON editor to directly edit the JSON files, so you can get the complete intelligence of JSON editor. To edit the build config JSON, expand your connection, select your project, expand build configs, and right click on your build config and click edit. Here we can see the build config JSON. Suppose you want to change your source code repository, so you can directly change your git URL from here. So I'm going to provide my another git source code URL and Control S to save the JSON file. And here we can see my gate URL is updated to Click2Cloud. Now let's see the another feature. View property of resources. In OpenShift Explorer, you can also view the property of resources. To view the properties, expand connection, select your project, expand your resources, and right click and click on properties. Here we can see the properties of my build config. Now let's see the another feature. Enable HTTPS protocol. OpenShift Explorer also supports hosting your running application on HTTPS protocol. If you already have your application running on HTTP, then in OpenShift Explorer, expand your connections, select your project, expand services, right click on your services, and select enable SSL. On configure SSL certificate window, provide certificate path, which is generally a CRD extensions type, and on private key, provide your key file and click on apply. And here we can see the application is deployed on HTTPS protocol. Let's see the routes. Here we can see the SSL route. Right click and show in the web browser. And here we can see my application is successfully running on HTTPS protocol. For more features of OpenShift Explorer, please visit our another videos. Thanks for watching this video.